The absolute biggest challenge my patients have when starting a GLP-1 is appetite. And yes, the whole point of a GLP-1 is to help support food noise, to lower it, to give you more space between you and food so you can make healthier, more nutritious choices. But if you're not eating regular, consistent meals and not getting in your nutrients and your calories, then all of your hard work can be in vain. As a dietitian, I never want you to sacrifice your nutrition for weight loss. So today we're going to talk about exactly how to eat on a GLP-1 when you're not feeling hungry. I only have a few minutes between clients today, so we're going to try to go fast. So feel free to have me elaborate in the comment section, ask more questions, and we can continue this series in a future video. But for today, let's talk about some quick and simple ways to make eating happen when it doesn't feel like you have any sort of appetite. And if you're new, I'm Katie. I'm a registered dietitian and certified personal trainer specializing in women's metabolic health, and I work so often with women with PCOS, insulin resistance, and women who are on GLP-1s. So if any of those sound like you, then you might want to consider subscribing and joining me for weekly videos on women's health, metabolism, blood sugar, and more. Okay, so the number one thing that you're going to do if you have no appetite on a GLP-1 is to eat small, frequent meals. Yes, this sounds incredibly counterintuitive when we just said that we don't have an appetite, but the best way to be able to grow that appetite is to spread out your meals and aim for those smaller portions versus trying to just listen to your hunger, eat when you're hungry, and eat once or twice a day. There's almost no chance that you're going to have enough calories, macros, and micronutrients in just one or two meals a day. And plus, when we do this, it tends to backfire because we have a lot of issues with feeling overly stuffed minutes into eating because we waited too long for that window of hunger to happen. And to any of you who have done this already, let me know, has it backfired when you do this? Because a lot of times I find that if you go long periods of time without eating, and then you finally try to eat, your stomach kind of stops you really quickly into it. GLP-1s naturally do this anyway, so we don't want that issue intersecting with just waiting too long to eat. Not a good thing. You're not waiting for your hunger signals to tell you you are hungry. You're going to schedule your meals and snacks for a week or so and try to get on that routine even when your hunger is not present yet. After a week or so, you should adapt. I promise it should come back. But for now, for the beginning, you want to eat on a regular schedule, at least 4 to 6 meals a day. Tip number 2 for eating when you have no appetite on a GLP-1 is to always eat your proteins first. So proteins are very hard to eat on a GLP-1. They fill us up quickly and they are more savory. So a lot of times when we have that low appetite, like even when we're sick, you don't really want a really savory food. So it's natural that the protein is the first thing to fall off. So you really want to emphasize having it first if you can. Maybe if you're having something like steak with Brussels sprouts and sweet potatoes, you have the steak first, then the Brussels sprouts, then that sweet potato carb last, because that will be the easier thing to consume when you are starting to feel a little full. And if you have something like a chicken wrap, that's like a carb and a fat and a protein and a veggie all combined into one, no, you don't have to pick out your chicken and eat that first. Just eat it like normal, but try to be slow and mindful with it. Make sure that you have a decent amount of protein in that wrap and just, make sure you're eating as much as humanly possible in that moment. You don't have to be weird about it. You don't have to pick it out. Just try to do this when it's applicable at meals and snacks. Tip number 3 is to drink your calories. And when I say this, don't yell at me. I mean as nutritionally densely as possible. So, is that a word? Nutritionally densely? No. Think as nutrient dense as possible with this. So maybe it's a protein shake, maybe it's a smoothie. Occasionally something like juice could work, but we want to be really thinking of especially how we can incorporate protein in liquid form, because that's going to be a really easy way to fit it in even when we're really low appetite and can barely have anything on our stomach. I'm a really big fan of the Core Power protein shakes, the Fairlife protein shakes, and the Orgain protein shakes. Those are kind of my favorite. I have Nuri right now, and it's a pretty good one too. So all can be good options for getting around 30 grams of protein in just one beverage. Smoothies are also amazing because you can fit in fiber from fruits, protein from adding a little scoop of protein powder, and then you can also throw in things like nut butters and chia seeds to add more nutrient density into one single liquid and one single meal a day, which I find really helps fill in the nutritional gaps when you're having trouble eating. And another tip I'll add to this one, because this one is new, is that Costco and different places like Costco now have clear protein, which is like protein water. So now you have the option to have a protein drink that doesn't even taste like a protein powder. So if you're really feeling nauseous, you're really not up for anything, and you just want a clear liquid, now you can get your protein in that way too. I'll put a picture of the protein drink that I've heard from a lot of my patients is really tasty up here. This one's at Costco, and I've heard a lot of good things. I haven't tried it myself though. Tip number 4 is thinking of nutrient density. So when I think of nutrient density, I'm thinking like a small quantity of food that packs a really big nutritional punch. So something like almond butter, peanut butter, a protein shake with added vitamins, avocados, berries, whole fat cottage cheese, anything that's going to be, again, a lot of calories, carbs, proteins, fats, and nutrients, but in a small quantity. This, of course, is going to help you fit in your calorie needs and your nutrient needs easily because you're not feeling overly stuffed on food, but you're still able to consume something that is high nutrient value. If you want me to come up with a list for you, I can definitely do that in the comment section below. I also have a protein list on how to get 100 grams of protein on a GLP-1. So if you're interested in that, sign up and you'll get it sent to your email in the description box and the pinned comment below. Tip number 5 is to capitalize on your appetite when it is present. So this sounds obvious, but sometimes it's harder to do unless we are really actively thinking about it. But if you have a time of day that you're finding that you are really extra hungry, you want to capitalize on that time period, not just skip it. If it's dinner, have a very nutrient dense dinner. And then if you're having, times a day where you're less hungry throughout the morning, then use that time to have something like a protein shake if that's possible. Always use the time where you are most hungry to maximize and to get your calories and nutrients in. And tip number 6 is to build back your appetite slowly. Sometimes this stuff doesn't come easy and your appetite is not necessarily there on day 1, and I wouldn't expect it to. That's kind of how the GLP-1s work. So don't expect it to go from 0 to 100 and you're just eating regularly and perfectly hitting your protein and your macros and your fiber on day 1. It's probably not going to happen. But what you can do is control the controllables and make sure that you're having food every 3 to 4 hours, eating very small, consistent meals, even having a couple bites of food every couple of hours if that's all you can tolerate, getting in those protein shakes, and then letting your appetite slowly progress as time goes on. I promise it will get better. And slowly, as you adjust to the medication, your appetite will adapt with time. And side note, if it does not adapt over time and you have no appetite, months and months go by and you're still not feeling hungry, that can be a sign that your medication dose is way too high. So you want to recheck with your doctor or nurse practitioner to get that dose adjusted so you can not sacrifice your nutrition at the cost of the medication and the weight management aspect of it. I'm a dietitian and I of course care about the nutrition side of things, so I never want to see you sacrifice your nutrition and health overall at the cost of just losing weight with the medication. We want to find a good balance of you balancing your nutrition, feeling good, feeling amazing, having enough energy and appetite, but then also having the medication do its thing and help you where it needs to, like maybe with the food noise aspect and blood work and insulin and all that fun stuff. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And if you are interested in continuing this conversation, then click the video right here, hit subscribe for more videos like this one. I appreciate you so much. Let me know your questions in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.